I'm speaking this into your future if you don't already. You will have employees, contractors, managers, all of these things that are moving your business to progress, and you're making 7, 8 figures. Hey y'all, it's Kameron Monet coming to you guys with another video in my entrepreneurship series. Welcome back. Today's video is part 4 out of 7. If you haven't seen parts 1 through 3, I will leave the links in the description box below. Definitely go check out those videos, but I'm glad to have you here in today's video. Today we're going to be talking about all things organizations, systems, the behind the scenes of your business that you have to know how to do, because CEO, who else is going to have it in order? You. So of course, you already know I have my notes, so I will be looking down. There's going to be 3 main things we're going to be focusing on in today's video. The first is building your daily schedule. The second is creating systems within your business. The third thing is hiring coaches, contractors, and employees, etc. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into today's, I was going to say legal tea, but entrepreneurship, it is kind of legal. Lawyerpreneur, legalpreneur, legal tea, entrepreneurship tea. The tea. Okay, so the first topic, building your daily schedule. This is so important, and I'm constantly trying to figure out what's the best method for me now in this new CEO full-time entrepreneurship role. For those of you that don't know, hello, I am Kameron. I'm a newly full-time entrepreneur. However, I also am a licensed attorney as well as an influencer content creator here on YouTube, as well as on my Instagram. So definitely check out my Instagram if you don't follow me there. I put some content about fashion, lawyer life, lifestyle, all the tea behind the scenes, as well as, you know, y'all get the real behind the scenes on YouTube in my vlogs. So check those out as well. But anyway, so being a CEO and running my business full-time is completely different than when I was juggling my 9-to-5 job. So I have to look at it in a new lens, essentially, because I don't have specific time constraints like I did when I had a 9-to-5. I had to go to work, came home, and I only had a certain amount of hours to get things done. So looking back, it seemed harder while I was in it because I was juggling hours on hours practicing law. Like, it's just, you're kind of always on call. So it was just a lot to juggle as far as not having enough time. But I had designated times to get designated things done, so that was actually really beneficial. So now I'm like, oh crap, I have 24 hours that I have to figure out what I have to do with them. So I'm going to kind of give you, I'm not going to show you guys my calendar. I haven't pulled up just because I have like some upcoming collabs and things like that. I don't want y'all to see quite yet. But I use Google Calendar. I highly recommend it. It really just helps me. So as far as daily, I put on my calendar for the rest of my entrepreneurship life, really. I just put like recurring events on there. For instance, like Mondays are my admin day or CEO day, as my business coach likes to put it. So admin day, I just do all things related to emails or preparing for content, prepping content, pulling out the outfits, creating ideas with brands, any kind of brand negotiation, reviewing contract, all types of things that involve like admin type things behind the scenes, whether I'm having to update my website, update the privacy just clause on my website, things like that. All that happens on Mondays, because what I realize is Mondays I'm not super creative, and I'm also not extremely productive as far as being creative and shooting content and those kind of things. I'm more comfortable kind of easing into the week. So Monday I take that to do the smaller tasks. I'm using quotes because they're not smaller, they're super important, but it's just less of me needed on a Monday. So I love that to ease into the week. And then Tuesdays are my content day. So that day is when I film, shoot some content. I also put like business day. So half the day I shoot the content, the other half of the day I work on any type of specific business venture. So I'm reviewing right now, I'm trying to launch my contract templates come Black Friday. So that's what I've been doing kind of on Tuesdays when it's like my business and content day. Also, sometimes I don't have content to shoot. Maybe I pre-recorded, or maybe I had to get it done earlier or later on in the week. So then I also just take that day to just do all business needs. Wednesdays is another kind of admin day. Also is my editing day. So I don't post on any of my social media platforms on Wednesday. So on my Instagram, I try to post for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then of course, if I can post other days, that's great. But those are my core days. On YouTube, I try to post Sundays and Thursdays, occasionally Tuesdays. And then if I post other days, like this series is a different, circumstance. I'm posting every day. But I try to make sure I, myself, on the behind the scenes in my daily schedule as a CEO, I have my game plan set up to what I'm striving for, even if I don't necessarily announce it to my audience. So yeah, I do editing. That can take up majority of the day. Also, I'm a part of a YouTube masterclass, which is also on Wednesday. So that's a great time to handle any type of research and learning and educational classes and educational reading and things like that to perfect my craft. I do that also on Wednesday. And I also have a meeting with my business coach. So I've gotten a ton of questions about business coaches or how I found my business coach and things like that. I'm going to talk about that in part 3 of today's video. So we'll get to that. I promise we will talk about it. Then on Thursdays, that's when I do my consultations or any type of virtual Zoom podcast or networking events, social events. Like today, I did a virtual call with Cumberland Balsa. I love connecting with the home team. I love reaching back out to law students and trying to pour into them the knowledge that I have and help them through law school. As y'all know, I do with my Legal Tea Social membership club. So definitely make sure you check that out. If you are an aspiring law student or a current law student, I'd be glad to help y'all. I have quite a bit of tea, okay? I made it through law school successfully, took the bar exam, passed it the first time, all those good things. So definitely reach out to me if that's something that you're interested in. So I do all those kind of things, and then it's also an admin catch-up day. So if there was any emails or contracts or anything like that that I didn't get to or that came in since I did my admin, 2 other admin days on Mondays and Wednesdays, I handle it on Thursdays. Then Fridays are my another content creating day. So if I don't get everything done on Tuesday, which I usually don't, I usually have to shoot again or record again or something. So Fridays is kind of like that. And then I always like to kind of give myself some grace on Fridays because again, it's like Friday, I want to be kind of done for the week. But of course, being an entrepreneur, I try to have off days and things like that, but I pretty much work 7 days a week at this point. But I give myself grace where needed, and I don't work all day, every day, if that makes sense. So if I feel like, you know what, I got a ton done yesterday, I can kind of wake up a little bit later. Let me wake up at 9 instead of 7:30 or 6. And then Saturdays, right now I have off, but like I still do some work in some capacity on Saturdays. It's just not usually extensive. Maybe I'll get on IG Live or I'll edit parts of a video for Sunday or something like that, or I'll record 2 small clips. But Saturdays are usually my like super duper laid back, lenient, not doing much work days. And lately I've been doing that and I really like it like that. Maybe I'll do some things around the house, you know, laundry, adulting, anything like that. So then on Sundays is also another like business development or educational development day. Also, if I need to create content, I will do it on that day as well. It's also another way for me to network with that. So whether that's reaching out to local bloggers or influencers and meeting with them for brunch or lunch or something like that, that's usually what I do on Sundays. And also another good time to do like an IG Live or something like that. I haven't done a YouTube Live in a long time. Maybe I should do one, but yeah, I like to do that on Sundays. And again, it's another kind of chill, laid back day. Daily schedule, it really does help to have a morning routine and a night routine. I know it seems like that's such a YouTube fad, but I promise you guys, it helps a ton. Because when you're having to wake up earlier, when you're having to stay up late, or when you're having to deal with something that wasn't on your like daily schedule or in something that you were planning on doing, you know how to wind down with your night routine no matter what time it is. Or like your morning routine, you know, okay, you know what, I do this every single morning. I don't think about it, I do it, and it's consistent, and I know I can stay on a routine. And routines really do help when it comes to productivity. It's statistically proven. Look it up, I promise y'all. But yeah, so having a routine really does help just overall in your day and overall in your life, honestly. But of course, with that, you have to be adaptable. So things will change. Things will come and go. You may have to switch something. I may have to switch a content creating day. Life happens and things like that. Like I'm moving, so like I've had to change the way I'm doing things. But routines still help. So I say all this to say, every day should have a task. Have task-specific days. And that to me will help you on this entrepreneurship journey, because it will feel overwhelming at first when you're like, I have 24 whole hours. What to do? How can I fit in things? Trying to find, okay, I can do 10 things this week, 3 things this day. Okay, I really can only do this one thing on this day because it takes me so long. You're still learning to try to find that balance between what you can and cannot do and what you can and cannot handle. So having task-specific days really help. Also, I know a lot of us can relate to this, where you get in the mood or in the groove of things, and you're like, once I'm creating, I'm like stuck in that. So like once I'm working on emails, I'm like stuck in that. I don't want to just switch and then now I'm recording a video. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that can be hard to like jump between those things. So find things that relate and you can balance between those things in the day. I hope that makes sense. Also with this, you can decide your own hours. When you're an entrepreneur, if you know you do better at night, set your hours then. If you know you do better at the crack of dawn, set your hours then. Or if you know midday is your prime time, set it then. And also you can set your tasks based on that as well. So I know once it gets later in the day, well, honestly, I feel like I'm kind of changing. For some reason, I've been working a lot like towards the evening and the night, but I prefer to wake up in the morning. I feel like when it's daytime, like I'm awake, I'm supposed to be working, you know? But if there's a task you're like, listen, I hate emails. I'm not saying this is me, but they can be tedious. But say you're like, I hate emails. Do those first, or do those during the prime time you know is your prime productivity. So either attack the hardest thing first, which I recommend anyway, especially if it's do that first, sis. Don't put that up, because then after you get that hard task done, everything else is gonna seem easy. But or do it during a prime time. So if you know what, I'm a morning person. Do that task in the morning. If you're like, you know what, honestly, I just think better come 12 o'clock after I eat lunch, okay? Then do it then. So this is where you can customize your schedule for you, but you do have to have a game plan. I promise you it will help in the long run. Okay, so the second thing is creating systems in your business. I'm still in the process of doing this, but now that I'm doing it, I'm like, why didn't I do this from the very first day, or from when I started doing this as a side hustle? It helps so much, especially if you want to bring somebody onto your team or get some help, whether it's an intern, assistant, whatever. Having a way to have all of your business systems in one location and easily accessible is going to be so helpful, because you won't have to constantly keep repeating yourself or teaching someone how to do something. You will already have like a vault of how you do your business and how it works. For instance, you can use this thing called loom.com, Loom, and it's really beneficial because you can do like video tutorials on something and just save that into Google Drive or wherever you save your documents, whether it's ClickUp or Asana or Trello, and those are platforms that you can house your management projects and things of that nature, and helps you with scheduling and giving tasks to specific people. But it really helps to just have one central place with all of the things of that say how your business works. For instance, if I'm like, I have a certain way I do email templates, I can either tell my campaign manager, or I can just type it out so then she can now refer to that. Or say you're selling a digital product and you have a specific way of how you review that before you ship it off. Do a Loom video on it, so then when you add an assistant, you don't have to constantly tell her, or she can always refer back to the video or to the written document, to something, so that you can see it visually how you do it, and then other people can also see it and learn from that, and you don't have to keep training hundreds of people all the time. Thank me later. And yes, it can be hard to figure out what systems you even need to create, and that just comes along again with the entrepreneurship journey. There's going to be things that you're going to add on. So say you never sold a digital product and you having to create a system for it. That's something that wouldn't already be in your Google Drive, or wouldn't already be in your ClickUp or your software, whatever you're using. So that's when you create it. Or say you change something, you're like, I didn't like how I did it then, let me do it like this, and you can adapt it and change it and transform it. But I promise y'all, I hope this makes sense, but it really is so helpful, because you will have several employees. I'm speaking this into your future if you don't already. You will have employees, contractors, managers, all these things that are moving your business to progress, and you're making 7-8 figures, and you're not going to want to have to teach, okay, one other person how to do step 22 out of 80 in your system. You want to just have it already referred. And I say start now. Like, I know for me, like I said, I've just started doing this full time, even though it's been a business for years, but it's really beneficial to do it now. Even if you're not like, Cameron, I can't hire anybody right now, have the systems in place now, so when you do, you don't have to kind of scramble and get it together. Learn from my mistakes. I also want to briefly touch on some of the management platforms and management software systems that I just mentioned. So ClickUp I've actually used. I like it. I don't currently use it. I prefer Google Drive. I feel like it's just a little bit more universal, but I'm not against ClickUp. My business coach uses it. It's very easy to assign tasks. I think that's what's interesting about it. You can set up a specific task and actually at the person and tag them, so then you can see their progress through the software. So check it out. Also Trello, Asana, they're all kind of similar. Monday, later, all these things. Those can help you with scheduling. Hootsuite is really helpful when you want to automate your postings on social media and things of that nature. Check out all of these. I will leave the list down in the description box below. A lot of them have free trials, so you can kind of get a taste for what they feel like, and then if you like them, purchase them. If not, move on to the next one. That's what I did to try to get a feel for what I liked, but I really just like Google Drive for now. Now I want to talk about hiring coaches, employees, contractors, etc. This can be a super tough decision, but also a pivotal moment in your business. It's really going to help you expand. No one is running a business on their own that is extremely successful. We're talking 6, 7, 8 figures. They have help, and it's okay to have help. And I know sometimes when you're a CEO, or when you're a creator, or you're a freelancer, or when something is yours and it's your baby, you're like, I don't want anybody else to touch it, it's mine. Or you're like, they can't do it how I do it. You're still trying to dip your hands in everything, and it's hard to delegate. I'm preaching to the choir, because that's literally me. It's very hard to keep my hands off things. Okay. Even when I brought on my campaign manager, and then at the time I had a creative marketing manager as well, I was still trying to figure out how the heck to bring them in. It would have made a tremendous difference if I would have already had systems in place, and I still be trying to put my hand into everything they're doing. Like, let me see what you got going on. But the purpose of having a team or having help is to help you, and for you to not do what you're telling them to do, because then you get to do it on your own, so then you wouldn't need a team. But then, like, you're stressed and you need the help and you free up your time, and that's why you have help. So it definitely is a process to delegate. Which brings me to getting a business coach of some sort. So I work with Tatiana O'Hara. I will leave her information down below. Definitely check her out. So essentially what she does is she focuses on team operations. So who can help you progress your business? What areas do you actually need help with first? And then also, how can you describe to them, or what's the job description for those positions, and how can they actually practically help you get from 4-figure, 5-figure to 6-figure, 7 figures and more? Like, how to actually move your business so that it functions better with having a team. So that's really what she does. She can do a better way of explaining it. Like I said, definitely check below, but she's been super helpful for me. And also getting out of the mindset that I am still an employee. It's really hard to transition from being an employee for so long, or a student for so long, which I know I'm a lifelong student, but a student in essentially like in education and in a institution specifically. But it takes time to now shift my mindset as the employer and as the CEO and as the business owner, that I'm, at the top, so to say. And it's really hard. So she helps kind of get through those barriers, helps create the CEO day and things like that. So she's been super helpful. I know she's like, girl, I'm probably like the most difficult client, because I second guess myself, and I'm still trying to just figure it out. So maybe all her clients are like that, I wonder, but I feel like I'm just like clueless, and like she's like, girl, get it together. I'm like, I'm trying, just help me. But she's been so helpful, definitely holding me accountable, and just showing me that like I can do this, and it's definitely doable, and I can do it, and things like that. So I feel like I kind of went off on a tangent, but definitely check her out. And when it comes to finding business coaches, I actually went to undergrad with her, but I followed her on Instagram and saw that she started promoting these services, reached out to her, and one thing led to the next. So she has a thing called VIP days, and they are so worth it. That's what I did first before we started the one-on-one coaching. And essentially we just laid out my entire business plan. So it's really helpful, and of course it shifts and things change, but she's right there to help with the one-on-one services. So thank you, Tatiana. She's been so helpful. Y'all have no idea. Like, just the biggest thing is shifting your mindset, and that can be so hard, and realizing that I do need help, I do need a team. And then when you get the team, I'm like, what do I do with them? They're looking at me, I'm looking at them, they're looking at me, and we're looking at them, like, we're looking at each other. It's really hard. So right now I only have a campaign manager on my team. So what she does, she focuses on all my email marketing when it comes to dealing with brands, negotiating on brands, helping me with my media kit, helping me with my rate sheet, things like that. Anything that's brand focused, campaign focused, sponsorship focused, bringing in money from brands and companies and things like that. So of course I review the contracts, that's my specialty, and I do help with the negotiations and things like that. But she has the knowledge because she works at a talent agency, so she works on the brand side that looks for talent. So me being the talent, she's able to, pour into me and give me some knowledge on how it works on the brand side and what their mindset is and what they're thinking when they send certain emails. And that's something like I'm learning, and now I'm starting to know through her and through doing it so long. But really helpful, really beneficial. Eventually I want to hire a tech VA, so a tech virtual assistant who's going to help me with all the back end in my website. I can do it, and I've been doing it, but it definitely takes me a little bit longer than I know someone that was specialized in like IT, web design, graphic design, specifically on like Squarespace and a few other softwares that I use. So that's going to be my next hire. Then, possibly a membership manager, depending on how big the Legal Tea Social becomes, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. So that's kind of the back end, really helpful. I found my campaign manager and my creative marketing manager at the time. I found them both on Upwork. Really beneficial website, super easy to use. Definitely get on there and get a feel for it. Then there's also websites like Fiverr and a few other freelance websites that you can try out, and you just hire somebody and see if you like them. I always give people non-disclosure agreements, just because for me, I have to get login information and things like that, and I want to make sure that I'm secure as well as they're protected. So I want to make both parties are comfortable in the relationship. And then now I'm in my campaign manager. That's That's my girl. So let's see. Also, another way for you to get hires or hire people is to announce it on your social media if that's something you feel comfortable with. I did that for interns, and I just personally think it could go either way with getting people from your following, and depending on, you know, how your platform is and things like that. I may do it again to get an intern, not necessarily to hire somebody full-time. Maybe, I don't know. But right now, my campaign manager is still a contractor. Eventually, you know, long-term, if we start making, you know, 5-figure deals and things like that, making some really good money, I would love to have her as an employee. She knows that. So I've given her a raise already because she deserves it. She's been working her butt off and really helping me grow my platforms and work with some really big brands. I'm super excited for 2021. And I mean, 2020, I'm working with some great brands too. So yeah, I say all this to say, don't be afraid to hire someone. You do not have to pay them a ton. I pay my campaign manager hourly. You can go from $10 an hour, $18 an hour, $25 an hour, $30 an hour, $60 an hour, however you feel comfortable starting off, and just give them tasks that represent, you know, that amount. Of course, you don't want to give them $25 hour task when you're paying them $5 an hour. You know what I'm saying? You want to be realistic. And then I also have an hour cap, so I can really gauge how much I'll be paying her. So she's hourly, but there's an hour, like end of the week hour cap that she can't go over unless she just has to. So we haven't got to that point yet, but you know, it may come up, maybe. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you got a few little gems and nuggets throughout this video that are going to help you behind the scenes of growing your business. Sometimes the grunt work behind the scenes just doesn't get recognized, and that's okay. Celebrate for yourself. There's so much that I myself do behind the scenes that y'all never see. Getting this video to where you're watching it right now was a process, from scripting, from reviewing, from researching, from recording, from editing, to creating the description, creating the hashtag, researching keywords, and all those things. There's a lot of behind the scenes, and I'm sure a lot of other business owners and entrepreneurs can relate. So I had to put a video in here that discussed the daily schedule, the behind the scenes, the hiring, the pro, the con, the struggles, and all of those kind of things when it comes to running a business, because it's not all glitz and glam. I think we all can relate to that. Whatever career path we're on, it's not all glitz and glam, but there's no greater feeling than when you finally complete something, or when you finally hire somebody, or when you have that employer moment like I did. My campaign manager, she needed to show proof of income to her new apartment, so she had to have me sign like her little thing that showed that yes, she does work for me, proof of employment letter. I was so excited. But yeah, there's so many different moments like that during this journey, during your career journey, that you're like, okay, it's worth it. That was nice. So I hope this video was helpful. I love you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed. Leave me some comments down in the comment section below. Share this video with your family and friends by clicking that arrow. There's a share arrow near like the subscribe area. Definitely click that, share with your family and friends. And don't forget to come back for another video. Love you guys. Later.